After what, 2 years since ordered it, KR Models GT3 gas turbine locomotive turns up. I know it's not been their fault, but COVID got in the way, but it just seems such a long time since paying for it before you see it. It's been sitting under my desk for 2 weeks, so now let's take it out of the box and have a look. And there you go. It's quite an attractive outer box, nicely wrapped in plastic to keep it safe from any moisture, and when it's been travelling in that container ship all the way from China. I am actually excited to get this model because I saw a 5-inch gauge version of this at the Ali Pali engineering exhibition, best part of 12-15 years ago, and the guy ran it, got a little clip of film footage shot on my phone, and I'll just tuck it in here so you can see it. But I thought, wow, what a crazy locomotive. Anyway, let's open the box and see what this one looks like, because I had thought of building resin kits of this before, but then when you get one coming to market as a ready to run, you think, gotta have it. First thing, we've got a big sign saying stop. We'll read that before we use the model. What else do we have? And a rather nice little brochure with a brief history of the locomotive. It was a crazy locomotive, basically a jet engine driving a turbine in a train. And what else have we got here? Oh, this is the functionality for a sound chip fitted one, which this one isn't. We've got some interesting things on there. Gas turbine drive, playable horns, footplate door slamming, Mark 1 coach door slam, toilet pipe discharge. That sounds like an interesting one. Not quite sure I want to replicate that noise falling on my track. Let's have a look in the box. The first impression is that looks like a great locomotive. Such a bizarre machine. I mean, looking like a conventional steam locomotive, but being such a radically different way of powering it. And also the livery being so close to a London Midland Crimson Lake locomotive. It's ticking all the boxes straight away for me. I really like it so far. I mean, it looks amazing. I haven't even got the wrapper off. Let's pop it out of the plastic. And the colour, I just equated it to a Crimson Lake LMS locomotive, but it's not. It's that russety brown colour which English Electric chose for it, and it looks absolutely stunning. I'm liking the checker plate along the edges here and the fineness of the grille in front of the radiator system. I can see checker plate on top of the couplings. I have noticed the buffer beam looks slightly on the kind of wonk. You got your hopefully working headlights. I haven't tested it yet. And your head codes and an exquisitely modelled roof grille, and further back down the body we've got 2 roof vents. Now that looks superb. Now the lining and the paint quality is just really flawless. Tender looks very neat and tidy as well, with a high level of detail. You can even read the fuel gauges and see where the pointers are. The English Electric decal is pin sharp on the side of the tender, and even the bearing caps have SKF on them. So a superb model always round. Right, here it is on the rolling road. Let's see how it goes straight out of the box. Oh, very smooth. hasn't been running or anything, just literally straight out of the box on the track, and it's ticking over quite merrily. Let's see if we turn it down and see what it crawls like. Well, it's on 15% power and it's stalled. 18% and it started going again. It is of course running on DC, so all the lights are coming up as the power increases. Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's go up to 30%. And you can see there's a reddish light inside the cab glowing. The head code and headlights are lit. Now that ran very nicely straight out the box. I will of course run it in some more and then take it to the layout and see how it performs on there. One criticism of all manufacturers nowadays is you spend a reasonably large amount of money buying a locomotive and they still don't come with any crew fitted. So now I'm going to take you through the steps of how to remove the body and fit a crew in this particular GT3. There are no instructions that come with the box, so I emailed KR Models and they told me remove 4 screws, but it's a little bit more involved than that. Taking the body off involves removing 4 main screws. 2 are reasonably visible, 2 are quite well hidden. To get to the 2 hidden screws, first I remove the bogie screw and take the bogie off. Next I remove the spring and washer, keep them safe, don't want to lose that tiny washer. Next I remove the 2 push fit mouldings. They simply pull off, they're held in on 2 pegs each. Next I removed the buffer beam screws because they slightly mask the 2 body screws. Then finally you can undo the 4 body retaining screws and the motor and chassis assembly will slide out of the body. Here's the motor mechanism, the chassis which is a cast metal block and a cardan shaft driving the gears that drive down to the wheels. I used 2 Bachmann seated drivers. In order to get them to fit you have to remove their feet, stick them in with a little bit of emulsion glue and let them set in place. You can see from this rear of the cab shot that I biased them quite heavily towards the centre, otherwise the sloping edged window catches their shoulders. Once the glue has hardened you can place the body back on, and there you go, they look quite good through the window. At this point I was going to remove the tender top and fit a sound chip, but unfortunately the model supplier has failed to get hold of a sound chip for me, having waited nearly a month now and I still don't know when it's going to turn up, so I'll deal with the sound chip on a later video. Hope you like that trip round the GT3. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time, hopefully with a sound chip.